My name is Ryan Devlin. I am about 5'6" and currently 206 pounds. Right now I am 11 weeks out for the Central States, and if I decide to do it, 13 weeks out from Westerns. I've been looking at both, but definitely aiming for Central States right now.
Good deal, bud. So today you train shoulders, bud. Go ahead and take us through the workout, the movements, and what you like about it.
Yep. So today I hit shoulders. I did a little tricep at the end, just for shits and gigs. But I did shoulders. Started with some rear delt, just to kind of get blood flow going. After the rear delts, I moved into a dumbbell press. Only did a few sets because I know I like to hit a press movement again later in the workout. I'm very old school with my shoulder routines. I really like working with dumbbells and keeping it at that, but I like to use some stuff here because this is not my home gym. So I like coming here and using stuff I don't normally get to see or feel. So we worked some press movement and then worked into some side laterals and did about, I think, four sets of that. Typically I like to do a back off set at the end, just to really kind of feel it more. So I did 3 and then a back off set, and then from there went back to rears for a machine. It was kind of an awkward feel, but I went through it. And after that I went to a press movement again. Used the hammer strength for the press, and that always feels good. I like using that. And then I finished off with some triceps for those skull crushers with the cable. I love that thing. Being from like down in Toledo, they have one at gym I use down there, and every time I see that, I love to use it because it's not at every gym I go to. So it's definitely a machine. If I see it, I got to use it because it feels so good. So we did that and got a good pump from that and finished up the workout. So it was definitely good. It was just over an hour, and it was a good session today. So
like for probably besides legs, your typical like training probably time right around a little more than an hour.
Yeah. I never go really over an hour. Tops like an hour and 10 or hour and 15, and that's if I'm incorporating like if I were to do an actual tricep with shoulders or back and buys where I have to hit a second group. But typically that 45 to 60 minute frame, that's where I like it. It's not too fast, but it's not too slow. I'm in and I'm out, and I get my shit done. Yeah.
I think that's a lot. It seems to be like a big, especially for beginners. Obviously you're not, but people train for 2 hours and stuff and go all crazy with it.
Yeah, man. No, fuck that. I can't. 2 hours? That's ridiculous. I wouldn't be able to sustain that. There comes a point where I lose the blood flow, I lose the pump, and at that point, it's like you're just moving shit to move it. I mean, it's just there's a time frame where enough is enough, and that hour is generally where I like to kick it. So.
Now with what kind of split are you on? But if I remember, are you push-pull, or do you do the push-pull split?
I did. We stopped that when we started prep. So now it's kind of more of like what they would call bro split, where I'm doing like five days a week, 2 days off, just kind of hitting each muscle group on its own. The only thing is I do glutes about 3 times a week, just because having not done a show in 8 years, never fully being peeled, we want to make sure that my glutes come in. So we are making sure that the muscle is there and we can strip that away, and really working hard on bringing the glutes in. So we definitely hit that. On chest days I hit it one other day, and then obviously legs. So
no, that's smart. I'm being preemptive. That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your cardio like at this point, bud?
I typically do about an hour a day right now. We split it, so I'll do 30 to 35 minutes. Typically it's 35 minutes in the morning, 25 minutes second part of the day. and then 10 minutes of that is going to be HIT, so high intensity interval training. So we'll do like 25 minutes on the treadmill on an incline at a good pace. And then
explain the difference between normal and HIIT for newbies out there, bud?
Yeah, HIIT cardio is like intervals. So I'll do 45 seconds, just kind of a good normal fast pace, and then 15 seconds balls to the wall, just as fast as I can get it. And then go back down, and then 15 seconds fast. Go back down, 15 seconds fast. And you're basically doing that for sessions. So I'll do 10 sessions of that, so basically 10 minutes. It generally is from my knowledge, supposed to help with burning more after the cardio session. But for me, it makes me sweat, for sure. I actually enjoy it. It seems like time passes a lot better than just kind of walking. So I actually really enjoy it. So.
Okay. What was, just to go back, something you said, but what was the basis behind switching your split up, bud? What was the reasoning behind that? Or?
Just different training style. We did the push-pull legs for like 8 to 9 months for off season. I really enjoyed it, and now that we're in prep, it's just kind of switching things up. Just kind of, just that, switching things up. Blue gives me a training protocol to follow. I don't always do it to a T because there are certain movements I like to do. But for the most part, I stick to what he has me do, and I'm generally in line with what he says. I like a lot of stuff that he gives me, so I stick to it.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about Blue.
Yeah, for sure. No, he's, like I've said before, I would recommend him to anyone. He's literally there for his clients, and the effort he puts into it is phenomenal. So I couldn't ask for anyone better.
Yeah. How about diet, bud? What's your diet changes?
My diet for the past week and a half, we dropped down carbs. So we were doing 0 carbs for a while. We're really trying to push conditioning. My shape is there, the muscle's there. Right now, it's just, especially with my legs, like I talked to you about, getting my quads and my legs to really fall in line with everything else right now. Given that we have 11 weeks, we're definitely going to make it happen. But it's really, for me, it's the recovery aspect, because I work midnights. I got 3 kids, a supportive, beautiful wife. But it's a lot on me with 14-hour work days and stuff like that. So I just need to remember to make myself take a day, because I need that recovery, and I think that is what's going to be biggest for bringing my conditioning in. So it's really just trying to make sure that the conditioning is there.
And it's not like you say you have kids, it's not like they're teenagers, like you have little kids, like, and your oldest, you said 4 months?
Yep, so I got a 4-month-old, a 1.5-year-old, and my oldest just turned 7 2 days ago. So I got a beautiful family. I try my best to keep up with them.
So from work at nights, they're like, "Hey, Dad," they want to see you.
Yes, absolutely. I get home at 7 in the morning, and that's when my 1.5-year-old son wakes up. And first thing I do is I go get him from the crib, and I could be up for another half hour just hanging out with him before I go lay down.
Yeah.
So I do my best to get as much sleep as I can. But it's really just making sure I get that rest, because if I don't, my cortisol is going to be up, my stress is going to be up, and I'm not going to recover the same way. Yeah. So my life is a lot different than your typical guy who works 9 to 5 and goes to the gym to compete.
Well, and a lot of guys competing aren't even, some of them are, I don't know what they're doing, but not working even regular jobs or stuff, or they're making their own schedules. Or
I
train.
Right. So for me, it's living a full life. So yeah,
and that's cool. And I respect guys who can do that more, like you, Jordan Janowitz, full-time jobs, big families, and doing everything on the side, the real life stuff plus the sport, and because that takes a lot more than just doing the sport stuff. Right. That's a lot. People don't get that, and doing it well.
Yeah, so, that's the most important part. Making sure you do it all, and I'll do it all good.
Yeah. Because otherwise, we don't have that balance.
Right.
So good deal. So from last time, how much size have you put on since the 8 years ago since you competed, bud?
Oh God. Well, to be honest, 8 years ago I looked like shit. Be honest, call a spade a spade. I was happy back then. I think things were way more competitive, to be honest, than they are nowadays.
Yeah.
I placed 5th out of 9 in the middleweight. So I was like at the top at 172.6 or 176.2. I think it's 176.2. So I was like 176. I placed 5th out of 9. I had a trophy. Back then I was happy, but my expectations and my standards with 8 years of growing and understanding bodybuilding more are way higher than they were 8 years ago. You know, having an actual coach that I can financially be stable with, because the coach I hired back then was shit. It was a good experience. I'll put it that way. So now, God, it's hard to say because, like I said, I looked like shit. I wasn't in shape nearly as where I should have been. So it's hard to say how much I've really put on, but I feel like I could definitely hold my own. Say if I can show up as a light heavy around the 185 mark, that would be great. And I could still hold my own because of my stature and my size to heavyweights. I definitely feel confident, I guess I would say. So we'll see where I end up. I'm not really too worried about where I end up weight-wise. Just as long as my look is on point. That's all I care about.
Yeah, that's a good attitude and way of looking at it, but instead of worrying, so many people concentrate on the scale, and I know it's hard not to, right? But but it does fuck with your head and everything.
Oh yeah, constantly. You know, even I think since our last video when I was 16, 17 weeks out, the total amount is only, God, lowest I've been is 203. It's gone up and down a little. My look is a lot different, but my weight really isn't. So it's hard to say where I'll be weight-wise. I know we're going to push it and we're going to bring it the best we can, but I'm not going to worry about how the scale is at the end of the day. So.
Good deal, man. People you like to thank, friends, family, bud?
Obviously, my wife, my family, and my coach. As always, he's still sticking behind me. We're worried about conditioning, but he's still confident in that we can do it as long as we get the rest in recovery, and I feel confident that we're going to make it, and I'm glad that's the guy I got behind me. And then my training partners, Alex, Yusuf, whole shout out to Yusuf, Team Clasthetics. He's a great coach, great friend of mine, and everybody on that team. Shout out to my friend Nasser. He actually just turned pro in Natural League last weekend. So yeah. So shout out to him and that whole crew, and we're just gonna keep the ball rolling with everyone and see where we get in 11 weeks.